the second week of deer camp, and all the guys are here. We drink, play cards, and shoot the bull, but never shoot no deer. The only time we leave the camp is when we go for beer. The second week of deer camp is the greatest time of year.
Howdy! Today we're going completely different. We're going country. We are
country.
We are cooking venison, locally, legally harvested venison by my other brother-in-law, Jason Sanner, and backed by popular demand is Dave Carr, sous chef in demand. Today we're going to be cooking backstrap, some people call it. This is actually the loin of the deer. So it's this big if you stretch it out, but we're gonna cook it two different ways. This loin comes from right on the back of the spine of right here and here. There's two of them. A lot of people call it the tenderloin. It's not. The tenderloin's on the inside of the animal, which is where you get your filet mignon. This is where you get your prime rib and your sirloin and beef.
Tenderloin's fish.
Yes, they call them fish. So today we're gonna cut this apart and we're gonna cook it two different ways. First, we're gonna cut some of it into steaks and we're gonna grill it outside on the grill. We're gonna cut them about 1/2 inch thick. We don't want them too thick. If we cut them real thick and we can butterfly them, we're gonna leave them like that. And then the other half, we're gonna take and just cut it right in half and we're gonna cook that completely separate. This one, we're gonna cook whole. This one, we're gonna cook as steaks. We're gonna take these steaks, place them in a marinade that I made, which is, it's got, I wrote it even down, crown peach, brown sugar, cider vinegar, canola oil, and some of my homemade barbecue dry rub, all mixed together. We're gonna marinate that for a few hours, not really because we're gonna cook it soon. And the whole loin, we're going to put strictly all the homemade barbecue dry rub that I made, which has smoked paprika, salt, sugar, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, ground thyme, cumin, and brown sugar. And we're gonna let that marinade or rub sit on there for a while, and then we're gonna grill it from there.
Hey chef.
Yeah.
I noticed there's no little white fat lines in this like with other meat. Does that mean it's a very lean cut?
Well, it is, but there should be marbling because it's the back strap, so that's a naturally tender cut of meat, so it will be good for grilling and short-term cooking as opposed to like the front shoulder or the lower legs and stuff. So it doesn't have near as much marbling as a nice beef would, but it's still pretty good. And this is the marinade we're gonna just stir it. And we are now going to start prepping for our side dishes because the two meats are resting and getting the rub and the marinade to soak in. We're going to do some mushrooms and onions that are going to go along with the tenderloin steaks, or the loin steaks, and we're going to make those into an Italian dish with canned olives, canned diced tomatoes, basil and oregano, fresh garlic, and salt and pepper, and obviously a little red wine. And with the loin itself, we have a nice sauce that we're going to make with it that's going to go, and they're going to serve both of them with asparagus. And we're going to do oven roasted red and Yukon Gold baby potatoes.
The flick of the
Got
wrist,
away.
right?
Next stage, we're going to start cooking some things. We're going to throw the potatoes in the oven, get them roasted. They're going to finish a little before the meats.
What's their temp?
our temp is 400 degrees we're going to cook these at, because when we bring the meat back, we want it at a higher temperature. So the potatoes will finish and we'll keep those warm, because everything is going to get finished roasted. And while now sous chef Dave is going to go out and start cooking the meats on the grill. This, I want you to get it nice and grill marks around the outside, and then bring it back and we're going to finish it in the oven.
Okay, so just a sear on this.
A sear on that from the char grill, and then after you do those, then we'll start taking these out of the marinade and start grilling them to like a medium rare doneness, and we'll bring them back. And meanwhile, I'm going to start the sauces in here.
And a medium rare. Okay, so we're outside on the back porch. We have the grill up to 500 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and sear this. Let's get some nice grill lines. Listen to that beautiful sound. Gonna close that and go about 3 to 5 minutes on each side.
While Dave's out grilling the meat, I'm starting the sauce now. We have two sauces actually. The first one I'm gonna start is completely made up in my head. It's kind of like an Italian type sauce, starting with all these mushrooms and onions, which everybody loves. And we're gonna cook those, sweat them until they start to just get a little bit soft and translucent. We're gonna add our fresh garlic, and then our tomatoes and olives and our seasonings in. We're gonna lightly sweat these for a few seconds. Just a little bit of sugar.
Okay, chef, this is ready here. Nice, beautiful grill marks on there.
Okay, we'll get this in the oven.
See, we got the sauce
Starting
going.
with one of the sauces, we'll get this in the oven, along with the potatoes. Ooh, it's hot in there. And
Should I start the steaks?
yep, take the steaks, start grilling them. By the time you come back, we'll be getting ready to roll. We'll be
Okay.
getting ready to eat. Now we're gonna start the second sauce. The first sauce has been simmering with the lid that properly fits this pan, so it goes like that. And now it's just sitting there simmering. And I'm gonna start the second sauce with some nice red wine. I have some Duck Commander wine, which they don't even sell anymore. We're gonna put some of that. I have a couple bottles of that. We opened one of them. I'm gonna start and just we're gonna reduce that slightly. And now I'm gonna add some pre-made, it's a brown sauce. It's technically a demi-glace with a lot of herbs and seasonings. I'm gonna add that into there. What's a demi-glace? It's a classical demi-glace. It's half brown sauce, half brown stock, reduced by half. And that's what this is, with the addition of a whole bunch of herbs and seasonings. And then I'm gonna hit it with some salt and pepper. And it's technically going to be a Bordelaise sauce for the steaks. In fact, I like.
Okay, we got our first side done. Look at our nice grill marks. Still need a couple more minutes. Be a nice medium rare. We're cooking at high heat, cooking them fast so we sear that meat in and keep the juices. So a couple more minutes, these will be ready to go, and hopefully the chef's got all of our sauces done.
The loin, we want it to be right around 120, 125 degrees for a nice medium rare. And we're about exactly there. The asparagus is done perfectly now. Set that aside, that's our last component. Everything's ready. So the tenderloin's been resting for about 15 minutes, which makes it a lot easier to slice without the juices running everywhere. You're just gonna let it relax and rest after you roasted it for so long. And then we'll slice this down, not too thick.
Still nice and juicy.
Yeah, it's looking nice. A little bit pink inside, nice medium rare. So now we are going to plate up.
Okay, Chef, can we enjoy the fruits of our labor?
It's time to eat. We now are going to eat our venison, the fruits of our brother-in-law Jason's labor. And this one was marinated in the barbecue rub with the bordelaise sauce, the baby potatoes and asparagus. This one was the steaks that we marinated
With
in
the peach crown. I'm looking forward to the peach crown.
Marinade and the Italian sauce over top and the same side dishes. So I think it's time to eat these.
Bon appetit.
Voila.
It's the second week of deer camp. I got a swollen head. I'm lying with the dust balls underneath my bed. And icy breezes blowing in through the tongue and groove. My pants are frozen to the floor and I'm too sick to move.
Yeah, I'm done.
I didn't drink too many.
That was great.
Thanks. Beer.
Now, question though, Chef. For them there city folk, they can't source any venison. What can they do?
You can use just about anything with this same dish. You could use lamb, you could use elk if you have it, or you could go to specialty markets where you can get that. You can use beef. Use beef tenderloin and do the exact same things with it. So
It's like when you go to the grocery store and have them long, thin tenderloins. We could do the exact same thing with them. How about pork?
pork, you can use pork loin, pork chops.
They always had them pork tenderloins in the store.
Same recipes. You could literally use chicken and do the same recipe.
I think it would be great with anything, but
it would work.
that venison was spot on.
Yeah. Right on.
Great job.
His flannel shirt is smoking. I wonder if he knows it's the second week of deer camp and all the guys are here. We drink, play cards, and shoot the bull, but never shoot no deer. The only time we leave the camp is when we go for beer. The second week of deer camp is the greatest time of year.